Bula! Hi everyone, it's Esther here again.
And I'm Lydia Wati.
And we are from the Y4105SUS ministry. Guys, I'm so thrilled to have you guys here back on our channel. And with me, I got Lydia, and she's 17 and she's running for the Lord.
Esther, when we come to know of this great God, our heart, our spirit desires to know more of this great God we serve.
Yes, and indeed, we serve an awesome God. I know that we have a lockdown, and honestly, we just want to share a bit on what this ministry is doing during this lockdown. We've been doing a lot of things, activities. We've been doing Bible verses. We've been doing cooking, and
Switch talent.
Yeah, switch talents. So those are the things that we've been doing during lockdown, and not only that, we've also been doing Bible studies, which are held on
Wednesdays and Sundays.
Yeah, and we do it virtually in our individual bubbles, and we just come together to have a service together as youth. And the thing I'm more happy about is that our family is joining us for all the other activities that we are doing. And yes, it's just so amazing. With this lockdown, we get more time to spend doing things for the Lord, especially when we don't have school, we don't have to go to work, and we have a lot of things to do, especially to do with this great God. And we are heading right on into a video. So our topic today is on voices. I could say there's a lot of voices in our heads. But now, guys, we're not talking about the ones the one you talk on the phone with, or the one you have. It's more like in your head. So that's the voices we're going to be talking about tonight. I believe there's a lot of voices we can say. And Lydia, would you mind sharing on a few voices that you've kind of heard?
Sure, Esther. These voices. There are a lot of voices in our life, as Esther had mentioned, and believe how powerful those voices may be. There was always a gentle whisper, and I believe God whispered to me that time. It was like during the first camp that having this ministry was for me. It was a 2 weeks camp, guys, but I joined a week later. I wasn't supposed to come for camp, okay? I wasn't supposed to come for camp. It's more like just a Sunday visiting. But then a member from the Y4 also asked if I could help with activities. And while I was helping him, I was like, I should join this activity. It'll be more fun than just me staring at the ceiling at home as the usual. Well, my intention is just to go and have fun with the activities, but along the way I met some great people you could be open up to, and these youths that will come to the light, and I am grateful for their life, how they've always encouraged me and lift up my spirit. Well, I believe it was the greater person in us who is God Himself.
Well, that's really awesome. Like, I believe, for Lydia, it's more like she listened to that small, that gentle and humble voice. Whereas for me, it took time for me to listen to this gentle voice. I believe it was like years back. In high school. I can't remember, but it was like in Form 6 or in Form 5. That's when I could hear the gentle voice. Now this gentle voice came. It was actually triggered by a song that was sang by the choir that they like. It's like a Swiss group. We had a Swiss group, and so this Swiss group, they went up and they sang this song, and it was Praise His Name. And it was more like the song is about praising Him in the midst of your troubles, in the midst of everything. So as I was standing right at the back of the line in the assembly, it was more like I was just moved with the song, and then I was more like, okay, like what's I don't know what's happening. I just but then I could just hear that small gentle voice just speaking through the song. I mean, even though in the lyrics there's other words, but then it was more like I could just hear how this great God was just whispering that yes, he loves me, and I'm just so blessed to have an encounter like that. But then the sad thing is that I just shrugged it off as if it was nothing. But praise be to God, he continued to convict me and continued to just tell me that yes, he still loves me, and that he has a plan for me, a better plan. And I'm just sure, and I know that this great God has a plan laid out for me, that I have no idea how it's gonna come. I have no idea how it's gonna go, but I know, and I know that he has a plan for me. And yeah, that's what I've encountered as a youth and as growing up, and how that small voice just came to me. And yeah, I believe there's other voices out there, especially voices of friends, from friends, and then you got things that you watch on television, and on the internet. You know, there's a lot of youth streaming on internet. So yeah, there's
And somehow it becomes an addiction, right?
yes, and it becomes an addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, it's more like you know, when they talk to you, it's more like loud. It's loud. You know, the one thing we should know is that the voice of the world will always be loud. You know, it sometimes tells you, like, you know, you have to be cool, you have to do this, you have to do that. Yes, fit in, you have to fit in. And I'm not sure about you, but then, like, growing up, I had some insecurities about the way I looked when I went to school, the kind of food I had. Like, I'm not sure about you, but have you had any, like, you trying to fit in and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've had a few.
So yeah,
There's other voices in our mind. When those voices they get louder in our mind, they tend to crowd up the voice of the Lord. That gentle whisper in our life, directing our attention to things that are not of God in our life, leaving us depressed, lonely, even to the point where we ask ourselves, are we good enough? But when we invest our time in building an intimate relationship with this great God, he reminds us that we are more than enough.
Yes. And you know, with God, it's more like he doesn't look at your appearance, he doesn't look at what you can achieve. It's more like he just looks at your heart. And you know, coming to this God, all you have to do is yield. With the world, it's more like you need to fit in, you need to do this. There are standards whereby you have to, like, you have to reach in order to fit in. But with this great God, it's just nothing. All you have to do is just surrender. It's yes, and it's very sweet when you surrender to this great God. You don't, I mean, yes, we fall short of his glory every now and then, but then with him, his perfect love, it just surrounds you and it just embraces you. And yeah, it's done only through him.
Yeah, only the strength of God in our life, we can be conquerors, because he knows that every test that he gave us, he knows what we are capable of, and we need to remember those famous verses. I love these famous verses. It makes us, it lifts us, our spirit. It encourages us when we feel cornered by the darkness, because when we have those words and when we meditate those words in our life, it reminds us that this great God believes in us, believes in you. So that God believes in you, that should not be a reason not to believe in yourself.
Yes, and like it says in his word that we are fearfully and we are wonderfully made. And yes, I believe that God has a lot of plans for you, just the same way as he has plans for Lydia and I, and for this ministry. I believe he has plans for you. And, like, you know, you have, like, as a youth, we have a lot of voices that speaks to us, but always remind yourself to listen to the gentle, humble voice, because that's how transformation began, and that's how we have come to know this great God we serve.
It even comes to a point, Esther, when we think back to the past, this great God has always been faithful to us from the beginning, even though we didn't recognize that small voice. But then His word is true, and it forever remains true that He will never leave you nor
No.
forsake you.
Yes, and as a child of God, we will always know, and we will always, we will always understand that these voices, the voices of the world, doesn't mean a thing. And yes, it's all right if they look at you differently because you serve this great God. It's all right to just stand out. It's all right, because this all you have to know and all you have to worry about is what this great God thinks about you. And
Things we remind for the camp, right? What was that to say? Oh, the things of this God, things of this great God will be foolish to the world.
Yes, it will. But it's fine, because I believe that once we all go to heaven, we will all rejoice, and all this suffering here on earth will be done and over. It'll be dusted. And yes, I can't wait to reach heaven, to just go and just see how much this King has in store for us.
Is it true that we will even get to meet those famous people in the Bible?
Oh yes, we will. I can't wait to go and meet Queen Esther. She's probably there with her crown and everything. So yeah, I just can't wait to go and meet her. Of course, I would want to meet Jesus first, but then after Jesus, then I'm gonna go to Esther, and I'm gonna go and check out, just his stories.
How God was, his voice was more audible to her, right?
Yes.
For me, it was more like Daniel. Wow, the faith that he took, the step that he took, like trusting his God. But I believe that the time that he invested in just to know this great God, that voice is louder than
Yes.
So that you stand firm on your faith,
Yes.
and let everything you do be done in love.
Yes. See, so guys, I believe that's all for our video on voices. And just to conclude, we would like to share this Bible verse. It's a very well-known Bible verse. It's brought from the book of Revelation 3:20, and it says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Whosoever hears my voice shall open the door, and I shall dine with him, and he with me." And with that said, always remember to listen to the gentle voice, the humble voice. Always know that God loves you, and that you are highly favored, and that you are blessed beyond measure. Yes, and you're the child of the Most High. So yeah, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video and with the slides that we're showing you with activities. If you want to check out our activities, you could do so. It's on Facebook, on the group. It's or you just simply search Y4105SUS, and then it'll pop up, and you can check out the activities that we've done. So yeah, I believe that's it for this video, and don't forget to subscribe,
and hit that like button and press the notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. And like we always said, Esther,
Vinaka JISU. See you at the house.